Our severe weather week coverage, also known as fifth season, continues tonight with a closer look at weather patterns and the role El Niño and La Niña play.
You've heard us talk a lot lately about how we're in La Niña and we're slowly transitioning out of that more into a neutral weather pattern. Well, what does that exactly mean and how will it affect us here in Texoma this spring? First, let's talk about what La Niña is.
All right, La Niña is where the water in the Pacific Ocean off the South American coast is cooler than what would be considered average. And when that happens, especially impacting our weather during the winter months, it usually creates warm, breezy, dry weather across our part of the world. This winter has been a very typical La Niña weather pattern. You're seeing a real active storm pattern and storm track across our area. They're producing a lot of rain out west, a lot of bad weather along the west coast of the U.S. The Rocky Mountains are getting snow, but by the time they get to us, they're just coming through as warm, windy, dry weather producers, and actually seeing some pretty big fire weather concerns as these things come on through.
However, now we're looking at transitioning to a more neutral weather pattern. What does this exactly mean for us?
So if you look at the weather patterns and you look at the forecast, La Niña is weakening now. It's very weak, and it looks like by the spring we go up to what's considered a neutral weather pattern. That means that the water in the Pacific Ocean off the South American coast is what would be considered more normal. So with a neutral weather pattern, you would expect to see more typical weather over us, which would mean probably more of an average season when it comes to an average spring storm season, when it would come to, some severe weather, probably some tornadoes. We'll have some warm weather. We'll have some cold weather mixed in, especially early on, especially March can sometimes be kind of cold. But overall, I'd expect kind of more of an average type of weather pattern.
I've actually compiled all of the data over the last 20 years to determine in which type of spring we see the most active storm seasons and when we see the most tornadoes. Now, climatologically, in strengthening El Niño patterns, we can experience higher tornadic activity. However, in years that we're in more of a neutral weather pattern coming out of La Niña, we typically experience approximately one less tornado in our area than average. So if we take a look, we can actually see 10.6 in La Niña years, and then in a neutral pattern, more so about 11.2. Now this has been over the last 20 years and things will change. However, it's looking like we're going to see more of an average season. However, no 2 years are ever the same. We are still experiencing colder water in the Pacific Ocean right now. However, we are anticipating warmer water to come in. However, this spring, that could very well change. For your First Alert Weather Team, I'm meteorologist Garrett James.
Now, tomorrow night at 6, our First Alert Weather Team will wrap up this week-long fifth season coverage with a 30-minute special. It will be packed with information to prepare you for severe weather and also include Ken's Spring Outlook. Again, that's all happening right here tomorrow night at 6.